Morning and welcome. A huge patch for Splatoon 3 Sizzle Season 2023 has been finally announced, and it's coming out tomorrow basically, or tonight for you guys in America. And let me tell you, some of the things in here are so interesting, and the approach with this 4.0 patch. I'm hoping for it to actually push the game into the right direction in terms of balance. Although there are a couple of things where I'm just like, wow, they really did that dirty, as you could probably see from the title. So hello guys and welcome, it is Dude or that SW2 Dude. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and let's get into it. I'm going to talk to you guys about patch 4.0. So like I said, this patch is releasing today if you live in America, but if you live in Europe, Japan, Asia, Australia, then it's releasing tomorrow, basically early morning, you know, different time zones and stuff. So we're just going to scroll down past the season catalog changes because we know that the new 2 weapons are coming in. We also know that there's new variants of weapons coming in as well, and it shows all the kits and all that type of stuff. Now we get to the good stuff. Starting with the carbon roller. When the player holds the ZR button to ink while moving forward, they will now reach top speed approximately 1/6 of a second faster than before. So what this means is that the carbon roller is about 10 frames faster when it comes to running around and, you know, rolling just generally with the roller. I don't think this is going to really change much, but it is still a really, I mean, not gonna lie, it's a big speed buff to the carbon roller, so when it comes to just general rolling, it's just, you know, it's nice and helpful. But I don't really think it's going to make it like, oh my god, now this is the strongest weapon ever. Like, the carbon roller, I mean, at least a carbon roller deco was already really strong, so it's just a nice buff to have, I guess. Moving on to the Octobrush. They've now reduced the amount of ink consumed by swinging the brush by approximately 6%, and they've also reduced the amount of ink consumed when holding the ZR button to ink while moving forward by approximately 7%. So basically, overall, the Octobrush is now more ink efficient. The zip cast is actually going to be slightly buffed by this. This is actually quite nice for the Octobrush. Honestly, didn't even really feel like it needed it, but, you know, for the people who use Octobrush out there, I'm pretty sure you're happy about this. For the Snipewriter 5H, they've reduced the amount of ink consumed by approximately 13%, and they've also increased the movement speed while charging and while fully charged by approximately 13%. This one is so huge, mainly because it's just like, the Snipewriter honestly doesn't have a lot going for it. One of the problems I also felt with the Snipewriter is that it would run out of ink or well, of course, just run out of ink too fast, and the movement speed when just holding the 5 charges felt extremely slow. With a lot of my builds, I've always kind of dedicated putting some run speed or like ink efficiency perks just to actually like make it do something. Now, having this buff, just doing the combination of the two is just going to enable it to do so much more, hopefully. So right, so we're moving on to the main bulk, or the main sick stuff when it comes to the main weapon changes. So starting with the Splatana Stamper. They've now shortened the forward ink spread from the point of impact by approximately 10%. Now, what this basically means in another way is just calling it a painting nerf. Now, this is really nice in terms of the Splatana Stamper because the painting nerf actually does a little bit more than just like nerf the amount you put on the floor. The first thing that might seem a little bit obvious is that it's going to slow down the amount of time it takes for you to actually get your special, of course, because you're putting less paint on the ground. So, at least in my opinion, I think that's really great. I mean, to be honest, I've been just calling for a Splatana Stamper special point uppage or nerf in that sense, like put it up like 220s, because I feel like one of the main problems with the Splatana Stamper is that it just gets crab tanked way too fast. So this is another way of doing it, which is quite nice, and it also still allows it so that you can still get it at like a crab tank at 200. And I also just hope that this actually helps to reduce the amount of crab tanks that are gotten by the Splatana Stamper. Dude, I can't even speak English right now. Either way, this also is going to affect in terms of fighting, just your fighting suppression with the Splatana Stamper. So there's less paint being produced on the other end of your opponent, so your opponent might actually have a little bit of an easier time when it comes to fighting Splatana Stamper just in general. So that's a really interesting change, just to say the least. Moving on to the Sloshing Machine. They've lengthened the interval between continuous swings by approximately 5 frames. This one's actually pretty big, and just so you guys understand what this means is that basically when you slosh one time and then you go for the next slosh, it's going to take 5 more frames for that slosh to come in. So basically the sloshes after the first one, it's going to make the sloshing machine basically much slower, which is great. for someone who really hates fighting against Sloshing Machines. So I'm super happy about this. Like, I feel like it doesn't kill the Sloshing Machine. It like makes it slower, which is great. But it also doesn't take away like one strong capability with the Sloshing Machine is just sloshing in general and just causing like a bunch of suppression just by it. So it's slowing the intervals from one slosh to another is also really nice. So I'm really happy about this Sloshing Machine. Like right now, it's actually like just the best Slayer just in the game. Like it just does so much for a team. I feel like it's still going to be good, but like just not like you need to have one to win. Right, so this one is actually huge, and I did not see this coming for the Splatana Stamper. So first of all, they narrowed the width of the ink launch by horizontal slashes by approximately 14%, which honestly, that one, it is what it is. That's just kind of the thing of, okay, now you just need to aim better with the Splatana Stamper, and it's, you know, become more skillful in that sense. I don't think that's the main problem. I think this is the main problem, where they've increased the amount of ink consumed by approximately 30%. Like, I understand why they've probably done this. This is probably just to prevent people from, like, stacking just nothing but quick respawn to a Stamper. But dang, dude. Dang, I did not see this coming. Like, okay, I'll be okay with like maybe 15 or 20%, but 30 is just like, that's a lot of ink consumption just taken away. So yeah, you really gonna play more conservative with your ink tank with the Stamper now. Like, unless you do, I don't think you really understand how much this affects the Stamper. Like, indirectly, from a previous patch, they nerfed the burst bomb from it's consuming 40% of ink to 45 because of the splash being super friggin' annoying with it. The Stamper didn't even deserve that. The Stamper was fine with burst bomb because it only throws only so much, but you know, it nerfed it a little bit. Now with this, you're literally just not gonna have any ink after you throw one burst bomb. Like, you'd probably be able to slash like 2 or 3 times. I don't know how many times you're gonna be able to slash, but it's not gonna be a lot. I'm just saying. Another thing, it's so peak. Because the Splatana Stamper literally has Zipcaster. Now everyone's Zipcasters is just gonna be shorter because you're going to run out of ink so much quicker. It's actually so bad for the Stamper, oh my god. If you put everything in perspective, like literally everything to do with the Stamper, it's just like, you need to put ink efficiency perks now on this weapon. Really rough, not gonna lie. So this is such a cool weapon. Like, I feel like this weapon has like such a huge skill gap in terms of like how good you can really be with it. Like, there's some people who just struggle to use the Stamper, and there's some people who are really good at it. I feel like those people who are really good at it are still going to be, but like, man, it's gonna be so much harder to use now. So if you use this weapon and really liked it, just use it today. Just use it today before you can't anymore. So that's everything to do with the main weapon changes. Oh my god, still, I'm looking at the Stamper. It's just so rough. They didn't have to do that. They really didn't, but either way, we got some special weapon changes, and oh my, okay, you know what, not gonna lie, the special weapon changes are actually really huge as well. No pun intended, because literally we're talking about Big Bubbler, and literally the buff is increase the barrier's maximum radius, which is now going to make the Big Bubbler even larger. You know, that's a different change, and you know, I'm all for it, you know. So I'm not too sure if this actually like increases the health of the barrier shield itself. It's not mentioned there, but maybe it's just a thing that they just wanted to make the shield bigger, which is, you know, something I'm all good for. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. However, just to say, they've reduced the amount of damage taken from some special weapons to approximately 50 to 75% of what it was before. Oh my god, okay, so just thinking about it, in terms of what specials would be, like, reduce them, because they don't mention it. Not gonna lie, first of all, I'm just gonna say maybe Crab Tank is definitely gonna be within the some specials line, if ever being 50 to 75%. Like, I guess if you use a Crab Tank against a Big Bubbler, now it's just, the Big Bubbler will just not go down. I hope that's the case, because then that's a really solid counter to defend yourself against Crab Tank, so I'm cool with that. I don't think this is going to affect Ink Strike or Triple Ink Strike that much. I think the Triple Ink Strike should still be able to just completely destroy Big Bubbler, so I can see this being the factor of maybe Trizuka as well, but even then the Trizuka never really took out Big Bubblers either. Ultra Stamp is probably not affected because it can just run right through it too. Reside is probably not affected. I don't know, man. Like, I think this is specifically just for Crab Tank, which if it is, this is this is really good for Big Bubbler because it's just going to make it so much more defensive. And you know, now you have to play that rock paper scissors game probably, where you probably need to have a triple ink strike to take down the Big Bubbler. So if you want to use a crab tank, you need that triple ink strike to even get it going, so it doesn't, the Big Bubbler's not even like blocking places. So yeah, this was actually quite huge. So it's an interesting change right there. Right, so moving on to Tacticooler, they've extended the drink's duration by approximately 2 seconds when not equipped with the special power-up gear ability. The effect duration gained from equipping the maximum number of special power-up gear abilities will not change, and made it easier to activate the effect from the special power-up gear ability even when the player only has a few special power-up on a Tacticooler weapon. Right, so basically, Tacticooler has been extended by 2 seconds. That's the main thing, and of course, if you put a little bit of special power-up, then, you know, the duration for people's Tacticoolers is going to actually span a little bit further too. I feel like this makes it so that, like, if you're a person that's using a Tacticooler weapon, you probably get to use it, you put it down, and then you could probably start charging for your next Tacticooler right after that. So this is really, really interesting, not gonna lie. Like, Super Chump has also received a nice buff. They've increased the radius of ground inked when decoys dropped by approximately 40%. That's a huge amount of paint being now put down. They've increased the minimum amount of damage dealt by decoy explosions from 25 damage to 35 damage. So now the Super Chump is, you're probably going to be able to kill with it. And they've also made it possible to aim for nearer positions than before. So yeah, oh my god, all right, so that's actually quite nice. Like the Super Chump is actually much more deadly now, instead of it just being like a little slap on the wrist. Now it's going to be a punch in the face, hopefully. So for the Ultra Stamp, they shortened the effect duration by approximately 1.5 seconds when they're not equipped with special power up, and basically the same special power up stuff that they did for the Tacticooler there. So basically the Ultra Stamp is now 1.5 seconds reduced. I felt like the Ultra Stamp kind of like lasted a little too long sometimes. So, and that's basically everything to do with the special changes. Now for some special point nerfs. So for the Neo Splashomatic with triple ink strike, 200 to 210. The Rapid Blaster Deco with Inkjet, 200 to 210. And the Ballpoint Splatling with also Inkjet, 190 to also 200. So very, very decent. I mean, these two Inkjet weapons have been, you know, really, really good in terms of using Inkjet, so I can understand that, since Inkjet's become a lot stronger now. And Neo Splashomatic, I don't think this will, well actually no, this probably will hurt the Neo Splashomatic a lot, because now the Neo Splashomatic is also painting nerf too. So it's gonna take a little bit longer for you to actually get your triple ink strike. So this is making me think that, you know, there's now the option of using Tent Attack, because now they might or may not be getting the special at the same point of time now, so we'll just have to wait and see on that. So yeah, this is overall, in terms of the multiplayer, is really, really interesting in terms of what they've done, and I'm super, super happy with the changes they've done on. These are Salmon Run changes, and you know, I'll put these in, I put the source of the patch notes in the description, so you guys can take a look at the Salmon Run changes, because there's quite a lot of them, and I don't want to make this video too long. I think it's really respectable that they even like say this in the patch, so we know what their approach was in terms of like what they're trying to do, instead of just like leaving us on a cliffhanger of just like, why did you do my boy like that? Why did you do my boy Stamper like that? So yeah, it's really, really cool. It's really, really interesting. What do you guys think of this new patch coming into Sizzle Season? It's coming out today for you guys in America, and tomorrow morning for basically everywhere else in the world. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below, your opinions and all that. And damn, this is going to be a really interesting time. I'm really interested to see how Big Bubbler is going to play a big part of this, and how the two most annoying weapons, Splashomatic and Sloshing Machine, are going to be now. So I hope this opens up the variety of things, especially in competitive Splatoon, and I'm looking forward to it. So appreciate you all. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I shall see you guys in a future video. Also, follow my Twitch. It's in the description. I might be live. I don't know. Check it. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good one.